Hey Harmonizers, welcome to this video with Elysia, and we are at Belinda Trussell's doing a dressage lesson. Belinda Trussell is a Canadian dressage rider, and we are using Elysia here because I'm going to be going down to the Thoroughbred Florida Transformation Expo, and I have signed up for freestyle and dressage, which I'm pretty excited about. I have not shown dressage since I was a teenager, which is like 20 years ago now, and that was just some schooling dressage that I did. So this is going to be my first time really competing in dressage and also doing the first level test. So I've never rode the test before, and brought Elysia out for a lesson. I'm actually going to be taking King down to Florida, but he wasn't available to take for this lesson, so I've got Elysia out here. And this is a look at my first time riding through the components of the test. Really had no idea of what I was supposed to be doing in terms of what the judges are looking for. Now, Elysia has been training for the ranch portion of riding, as well as doing some hunter stuff in our lesson program. So her frame and her headset is going to be a little bit lower and a little bit less contact than what I'm going to have with King. For those of you guys that have been following me with riding King, you know that his head carriage is a little bit higher than what you're going to see with Elysia, and a little bit more consistent because he's used to having a little bit more contact. So we're not going to worry about that here with Elysia. I'm mostly learning how to do different parts of the test. So like here, Belinda said, I need to go into the corner more and actually get by the letter before I make a change into my extended trot or my lengthened trot. So I go into the corner a little bit better and then come out with that lengthened trot. And I wasn't really sure what the judges would be looking for in terms of how much speed or power, engagement, all of those different things. So she was really guiding me through how to do the different maneuvers, and then also learning what to really watch for, learn the different placement of the letters. Lissy actually does a really good job of stopping square when she comes down and stopping really straight, which is pretty awesome because we really don't practice that whatsoever. Just having a little yawn here as we go over our next moves of what we're going to be doing. And I really didn't want to exhaust Elysia, so we rode different parts of the test. We rode them in order, and I would repeat just a couple times to feel like I made progress and understand what I was supposed to do. And then we'd move on to the next part of the test in the hopes of not boring Elysia to death, but also just making a little bit of progress and understanding. So this time I came out of the corner with a lot more power. The pivot had a hard time keeping up there. And then coming down again here, the center line, I'll do it one more time. The pivot actually did really, really well. This is the pivot that's filming me here, the pivot silver. And I found it actually did a really good job, especially considering how far away I got. A lot of the time, it did a good job of searching for me. So you guys will see that as it goes around and is filming me here. It does a pretty good job of zooming in. So I go into my corner a lot better, and then boom, supposed to be going out into that lengthened trot. So this is pretty awesome. Elysia doesn't really practice that lengthened trot a whole lot. So that was great that she was giving me some really good effort here. She really did an awesome job of kind of coming out unexpectedly and go to a dressage lesson of all things. She's like, all right, this is different. And she's trying really, really hard here. So then here I'm supposed to go down to, I think it's called L, and then do a leg yield, which I made a mistake. It's on the center line, not the quarter line. So I come back and do it again. So now I'm on the center line and then start my leg yield. And then in typical kind of obstacle extreme cowboy fashion, I'm thinking I have to get over to the wall really quickly. And then Belinda points out I have all the way until letter M to get over for the leg yield. And I'm like, oh, like way up there? And she's like, yeah, you have until way up there. So you can go a lot straighter and take less time, or sorry, take more time to get over to that letter. So I don't have to do as much sideways motion, so I can do a little bit more forward, and I really want to try to keep her straighter. So this is what I'm trying to do here, is trying to get her a little straighter. She really wants to kind of bend as she's going over to the right. So I have to try to keep her a little bit straighter as we're coming across. So that's looking pretty decent. I still get over to the wall a little bit early. She's trying really, really hard, but this is something that I'm not used to doing, which is practicing that sideways, forward and sideways, that lateral motion, and taking, like, having so much time to get here. So trying to get it smooth is hard. I'm like, forward, over, slow it down, and trying to get it pretty nice. And then towards the end here, we do get it really nicely, just kind of getting over to the letter there is pretty great. And she's trying so hard, little Lissy. And she's like, cookie. She got a whole bunch of cookies throughout doing all of this different stuff here. So we're going to come around the other side and continue riding the test. So I practice the leg yields a little bit, and then it's on to the other direction, where essentially we do kind of the same thing. So it's that lengthened trot coming out of the side, which Lissy misunderstood and thought I wanted to canter there. So I just brought her back, coming onto the wall and into the corner, and then we'll end up doing that leg yield on the other side as well. I do think that that's helpful when memorizing the patterns, that you're at least kind of doing the same thing just in the other direction, which is kind of nice. And so here you can see I'm kind of trying to do the same thing of going over and sideways, over and sideways. I'm trying to keep her straight because she really wants to bend in the direction of where we're going. And then the camera lost track of me as I go around the corner because it when you go too fast by the pivot, it gets a little bit confused. Then here's a little bit of our canter work. So we have to do a 15-meter circle. So this was kind of my first time riding a 15-meter circle, where I'm actually thinking about riding a 15-meter circle and not just riding circles, because I ride circles all the time, but I don't really think about, is it 20 meters? Is it 15 meters? That was kind of cute there that Elysia was thinking about lead changes there. I don't know if she's remembering my last lesson with Belinda where we actually were working on lead changes, but she was pretty sure that we were supposed to be doing some lead changes in here. So this is Belinda just explaining to me some tips for riding that circle and staying balanced and getting the right distance and bend, going into the corners, all of the good stuff. And she was really helping me with understanding what the judge is looking for, trying to give me that picture in my mind of what it's supposed to look like. And this is a huge part of riding and competing, is we need to have a clear image in our head of what we're looking for, because if we don't know what we're doing, our horse definitely does not know what we're doing. So we need to have that clear of what we're trying to achieve so we can kind of embody that with our energy and with our body language, so the horse has a hope to understand what it is that we're trying to achieve. So I thought that this was pretty good, that the pivot was able to pick on where I was at. As we're going to come around here and do a little work to the left. So a few things that I have to work on are going into my corners, because I definitely don't tend to take my corners very seriously. It's just not something that I've had to pay that much attention to. So I've got to get those corners and the timeliness of those transitions as well. And then here is a lengthened canter as I come down the long wall. So making sure I have some clear transitions. You can see she comes back really nicely to me when we come off of that lengthened canter. So you can see a good change there. She's so good at stopping square there. She's a fancy little girl. So here we come out in that left canter again. And then this is kind of funny because as we come across the side here, she just automatically assumes, she's like, look, lead change. And she does it perfectly and cleanly. So that's not actually what I was asking for. But because lead changes are something that you guys know we've been working on in the past, I just kind of stop and say, okay, thanks for the effort. There's no cookie that I give her for it, but I definitely don't want to get mad at her for swapping that lead early, because that is something that I do ask for of her, and it's something that can be hard for her. So I definitely do not want to spoil her confidence with that at all. And then we do our 15-meter circle going to the right, and then we'll take it into that lengthened canter down the long side, coming off our canter. That's going to be pretty exciting competing in dressage. It's going to be something totally different for me to do, but I thought it's something that will play to King's strengths, and who knows, I think King could make a really good eventing horse, but he doesn't have quite the jumping experience that I feel comfortable competing in that for the Thoroughbred Expo. So I thought, well, dressage is one component of eventing, and it's also something that he seems pretty naturally good at. So I'm pretty excited to give that a try with him. Here's our trot. We're supposed to do a stretchy trot circle before we finish. And so this is something that I'll have to work on a little bit here because we don't have it quite long and low enough to get that really stretchy trot going. So we'll work on that a little bit more. And Elysia, kudos to her that she kind of came out here and did this dressage lesson, a whole bunch of things that we haven't been practicing, but it was really nice to come out and spend some time with her and get a nice ride with her. She's such a fun horse to work with and such a great teammate, tries really, really hard and really, really smart girl. So you come on down for that center halt. Look how beautiful that is. She just seems to be a real natural at this. And then picking up our trot afterwards, trying to get nice and straight. So that's looking better and better. So I've got some homework to do with my lesson, and I've got my first level tests that I'm going to be practicing. This is Belinda here giving me some final thoughts. And so after I had my lesson, I helped her with her horses, doing some relaxation work with Dave and one of our other horses there, which I did not take any video for you guys, so I apologize about that. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of my dressage lesson with Belinda. Thanks for watching.